Hello, everyone. Welcome to our Q&A time. This is a time when we take one full hour to try to answer the questions that you guys have about binary alpha and some questions that a lot of times you have about specific charts and trades and stuff like that. We understand that I had a lot of questions when I was first studying BA, and yeah, it's always great to be able to ask those questions and try to get some clarity on those so that you guys can become better traders. So let's jump right in today. We actually have a lot of questions. We actually have 22 questions for today. So that's really good. That's really exciting. I will try to do the best of my ability to answer these questions. And if for some reason we can't answer one of the questions, I will get Kazi to try to answer them at a later time. But for now, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. Today's first question comes from Richard. Says when a valid seventh logic is still above the Kazi high-low, we trade a 2-minute trade in the opposite direction of the flag candle. If it has passed the Kazi high-low, we trade 1 minute, 2 minutes in the opposite direction of the flag candle. But you also take 1 or 2 minutes when it's an invalid seventh logic. Right? Yeah. So if it's invalid, so same thing. 1 and 2 minutes is always the same there. So if you whether you're taking a valid seventh or an invalid seventh, you still use the 1 or 2 minutes depending on where you're at in conjunction with the Kazi high-low. Okay. Look the next question here. Hi Adam, with binary alpha, you play a cycle of 4 with 5, 10, 25, and 100. With 70% payout, we would have the following: first trade, $3.50 profit. Yeah. Let's see. Well, Richard, mainly the reason we do this is because in the beginning, when it comes to if you're using, like, for instance, a spot option platform, they do not always have the opportunity for you to choose like a $15 or $40 trade. And most brokers also don't have the ability for you to type in $5. Usually what happened with binary alpha is we traded on demo with the spot option platforms, and you just had to choose. You had to choose, 5, 10, 25, $100. It just had a drop down. You could not type in your own specific amount of money to trade within. And then when we trade in 24 option, the smallest trade size you can do there is actually $24. Okay, so we actually start small there. We start with $24. And so that's why we came up with this money management just for this. Again, you can do your own money management as well, but just make sure that it's consistent and it doesn't blow like a ton of money. With no, Marius, 24 option, the lowest is $24. They're all trades with them. The lowest you can do is $24. A few other brokers like Boss Capital, for instance, uses the same platform called Tech Financials, and you can do $10 trades for the minimums there. So, okay, let's go to the next question here. Okay, this is from Ravi. He says, look at this chart. Okay, let's check out this chart here. Okay, what do we have? Well, a lot of charts here. Honestly, Robbie, this is not a good flag sequence. You have a doji in the flag sequence, so I wouldn't even trade this. It's kind of pointless to analyze something. And again, what we said a lot, this is also a first level trade. It's first level trade. There's a doji in the flag sequence, so for me, I'm just not going to trade this. Yeah, I wouldn't even analyze this because of that. Okay. Let's look at our next question here. Olek says, is this a valid level or a half level? Okay. Our first level comes in here. second level. For me, this would be like, yeah, this would be a half level. If these measurements are accurate, this would be like a half level, and really my level 3 would basically be right around where this tension line was. Okay, that's a good question, guys. Okay, let's see our next question here. Oh, hold on. Next question is from Dirk. Adam, see this table about the money management if applied at my broker. For 1 minute trades, a profit 68%. For 2 minute trades, 62%. Yeah, so if that's the percentage of payout, we base this 5, 10, 25, $63 off of 70% payout. So you have to just work with the numbers to change the payouts there. Maybe it's $5, I don't know, maybe it's 13 or something here. You just have to mess around with the numbers to see what works best for your percentage of payout. Again, we mostly trade live money on 24 option. And so because of that, they have 70% payout on 1 minute trades, and they have 72% payout on 2 minute trades. And so that money management works best for us. The idea is that if you're with a broker where you can type in, they allow you to type in the amount, and it's not, like a pull down type thing, then you want your first bullet, excuse me, to give you the best amount of profit. Because if you're going for bonuses, and imagine you get 3 bonuses in a row, you want your first bullet to give you the most profit, and the rest of your bullets be more recovery bullets. And so, this first one, yeah, maybe it does get $3.50, and your second one normally gets like $2. But just, create the money management in such a way that whatever payout you're getting, of course, these numbers will recover. If you have, for your second bullet, for instance, I can't remember a time when we ever use a second bullet to go for a 2 minute unless you like skip a trade. So just mess around with the money management and try to figure out for your particular broker, what will work there. Okay. Can you guys still hear me? Somebody said they can't hear me. Can you guys still hear me? Okay. Must be something going on with Dirk's sound then. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, this is from Marco. Hi, Adam. Here is my question for, in mastering recovery trades, when is the best time to trade for the valid 7th logic to recover a loss? What's the best condition in the higher time frames? Look at my sample. Yeah, I mean, for me, anytime the market approaches a range, so, here, for instance, this big pin here, these big pins where a Kazi high-low was created. Now, again, you still have to watch out at these points, because if the market breaks like it did here, then it may just continue to get bonuses. You remember, these are tension points, but these are the strongest tension points. So either the market will strongly break, or it will strongly give you some type of 7th logic. Also, I would look for stuff like this. We've talked about this a little bit, and again, we will talk about this more later. But for instance, here, this is a really large pin on the top of a gray candle. This for me would be a potential spot for a reversal, or a really big pin on the bottom of a white candle. So tops of gray candles, bottom of white candles, because what this means is that the market pushed down and then it pushed up really hard from there, and that's why it left such a big pin. Or for instance, here, the market tried to come up and got rejected all the way down, and it was able to push the market into the put direction for that hour. So there's some type of anchor point here in the market where a bank or somebody with a lot of money is able to push the market down in their favor. And so what we're looking for is that potentially, as the market works its way back up to a position like this in the market, if this anchor point is still there, if this person is still there, and if they're stronger than the up market, then they can push the market back down in their favor. And again, we still follow everything binary alpha logic. Also, look around tension lines. Look for potential seventh logics around tension lines as well. That's a good place. Okay. All right, so let's move on to our next question here. Dirk says, Adam, general rule is that if the Kazi high-low is broken by the two lost candles, then we go for a 1 minute put entry. And this picture, yeah, again, so this is, remember, there are variations to seventh logic. Not all seventh logics are created equally. Not all seventh logics are the same. Okay, again, that's why it takes so much time to learn all these. I said that this is a very special type of seventh logic. Okay, so normally, if our two losses eat up the flag candle sequence, normally, okay, if they eat up the flag candle sequence, then we would call this an invalid seventh logic because the momentum has to retrace. Too much momentum came in the downward direction and ate up our flag candle sequence. And so it has to retrace. But if, again, these are two key criteria, if the seventh logic, after eating up the flag candle sequence, comes down always afterwards and breaks the middle Bollinger Band, then the momentum, it's like a confirmation that the momentum has shifted in the downward direction, and we would go for a 2 minute in that direction. Okay, so it's a very unique situation. And again, play this whole thing out. If you get something like this, sometimes it takes 4 minutes total for this thing to reverse in the right way. Say you lose in these first two bullets. This is 1 2 minute call. Say you're playing this whole cycle out. You get a bonus. You get 2 losses. You're in the 2 minute scenario. This is your third bullet on 2 minutes, and then this is your fourth bullet on 2 minutes. So you still use your 4 bullets. Okay. Juan, it's 2 minutes, 2 minute trade here. So again, this is a unique scenario. This is something we talked about in the seventh logic class. If you guys don't remember that, then it would be good to go back and review that. I actually said that this is one of my favorite types of trades. That, again, if the second loss eats up the flag candle sequence right here, this is our flag candle. If it's a sequence, it needs to eat up the sequence, but this just so happened to be a 1 candle flag. And this comes down, breaks, eats up the flag candle or the flag candle sequence. Then afterwards, breaks the second moving average, the mid Bollinger Band. Then we know it's a confirmation that the direction has shifted, and we will go for a valid 2 minute seventh logic. Okay, so our invalid becomes valid in that scenario. Yeah, if it's necessary, do 2 minutes. Andrew said maybe this is a scenario like that. Well, Andrew, we actually talked about this one. This is kind of like the 5th, 7th logic. So for me, this single candle is able to break the second moving average and the Kazi high-low. There's space in the trend line. This is my win right here. I go for a 1 minute call. We talked about this as well. This is called like a 5th, 7th logic. Like it's one single candle that's able to break the second moving average and the Kazi high-low after a loss, then that's actually a confirmation that the direction has shifted, and you can go for a 1 minute call there. Okay. Yeah, so he was asking if this had not broken the Bollinger Band, it would be a 1 minute call. Correct. Correct. All right. Let's go to the next question from Danny. How would you trade this? It seems like a 4 bullet loss. Should we not trade this because of these tension lines? Is there a fake push option? Okay, let's see here. Let's try to zoom in here on this. All right, so nice flag candle. Actually, Danny, so this cycle's done. You have a bonus. These 2 losses are inside. We've said stop and wait, but this gray candle comes down, so the cycle's done. It's done there. It's already recovered in that direction. We wait to see what may happen because maybe it's going to go up, but instead it comes down, and we end up recovering there. So this is actually our recovery in this scenario. So we have 1 bonus, 2 losses, we stop to wait to see what happens, the cycle recovers, and we actually have to leave this cycle with 2 losing bullets. But again, if you become good at 7th logic, then this is not a problem because then you still have 2 bullets left, and you can go to a um, different cycle like the one I just showed here, and you can use your $25 and $63 bullet amounts, and you would recover here with the 3rd bullet. So that's why it's really important to be able to understand and do 7th logic well. Okay, Olaf says, can you tell us about this phenomenon? How, in this case, is the indicator acting? Thanks. Let's see here. Kazi high-low without the candle touch. No, this is just a level cut. This is just a scenario where, the market is kind of ranging, is what we call it. The market it's in this range. It's in between these two price positions, and until the market breaks out one way or another of this range, there's probably not going to be any good flag candles there. That's just all it means here. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. There was a chart discussed today on Skype concerning level counting. May I ask if this situation shown on the screen is correct? Okay. See here. Zoom in here a little bit. Okay, so this is 50 points. Remember, guys, it's actually points, not pips. 50 pips is 500 points. So this is actually 50 points. All right, so yeah, this is the 2nd level. Now this would actually be our 3rd level, because what we said is the next level has to be a minimum of the same as the 1st level. So this has to be a minimum of 50 points, but it can also be more than 50 points. So we have 50 points here, 1st level. We have 50 points here for our 2nd level. And then if this is 98 points to the next level, then this is actually our 3rd level. If we don't have any other levels in between, then this is our appropriate level. Okay. I hope does that make sense to you guys? Say yes or no on the okay. Okay, Olaf, who asked the question, said okay. Okay, let's go to the next question here. I'm struggling with 7th and invalid 7th logic, and given the important role it plays in recoveries, I think it is very important to master it. When deciding between 7th and invalid 7th logic, which factor is most important? The rejection pin on the losing. Okay, so let's look at his chart here. Oh, these are ugly colors. Sorry. All right, so flag candle, bonus, bonus, bonus. I'm not sure I asked the question, but if you're there, remember, after you get 3 bonuses, you stop. So there's no more. You said invalid 7th here. There's no more logic here after your 3 bonuses. Remember, that's one of the key logics is knowing when to stop. So it's really important, again, to know when to stop. You got 3 bonuses, and you stop. Okay. There's no other. This is not a D flag, so there's no 7th logic here at all. And then this is a bad flag because you have a pin sticking through it right beforehand. Okay. So in this setup, again, that's why it's not just important to trade 7th logic and invalid 7th logic. It's just as important to remember how to know how to do a flag candle and to know how to stop. These are really key things because that will keep you out of situations that you think are tricky. Like again, here, you think, oh, what do I do? Is this valid or invalid 7th logic? Well, this is not a good flag candle, so we wouldn't trade this to begin with. And this is 3 bonuses. You stop, and there's nothing else there. You stop. There's no deflag or anything. So, all right. Let's go to the next question. Stefan says, current day pin. In his video from season 4, Larry says that Kazi sets tension lines only looking at pins in the past 2 days, ignoring current day pins. I've been using pins from current day too, as long as they're at least 50 pips long. Are they less important? And should we ignore them? No, I mean current days are fine as well. Basically, what he meant is that the last 2 days will affect the current day's market, but also what happens in the current day will affect the current day market as well. As the market tries to move around. For instance, this is today. I would come in here and I would draw out, this Kazi high low here. I would draw out this one here. This is a really large pin on the bottom of a white candle. I would watch out for this as well. And again, if the market, works its way to any of those positions like here or here, I will watch out. More than likely, the market's going to push up now. It looks like it's been pushing up for some hours. Um, there was some news that happened earlier today that was strong for the U.S. dollar, and I think it pushed the market in favor with the U.S. dollar. But anyways, um, yeah. So yeah, if you see current day Kazi high lows created, or current day, pins on white pins on the bottom and gray pins on the top, then you can also draw those out too. But again, you don't have to go too far back. Just the past 2 days and the current day as well. Okay, let's see. Do the next question here. You're welcome. The second question is it better to spend time differentiating male and female pins? Um, yes, as long as a pin on top of a female the pin has to be on top of the female candle and the bottom of the male candle, and they need to be 50 points or bigger. That's it. Okay. And remember, those are basically, yeah, if we have a big a gray candle with a pin on the bottom, there's a chance that there could be some interaction there, but it's a lot less of a chance. Okay. The reality is those are basically the current ranges of the market, so like the daily ranges of the market. And honestly, if you look at your 1 minute chart, and we always say, look at your left hand structure, a lot of times those are these Kazi high lows that are here. Okay, a lot of times it's the Kazi high lows that you see. Like this, for instance, this big red one here was probably, this is a range, and you see the market tries and it kind of gets stuck here, right? The market came up here. Just say, for instance, we did not, but say you had a valid flag candle right around here somewhere. Okay, so say we had a valid flag like right here. I would know that the market range, the next market range is here, and then the next market range after that is here. Okay, so if I get a flag candle and I have 25 points of space, I would try for one bonus there. Again, that's why Kazi always says look at your left-hand structure, because these are barriers, or these are ranges of the market. Okay. Okay, let's go to our next question here. In the picture here, the second loss can't cross the second moving average. All right, let's see what happened here. Okay. All right. So for me, if I did trade this, I would go with a 1 minute call here. I would call this like some type of invalid seventh logic, because it tries to cross the second moving average, doesn't have the ability to. So for me, this is just a 1 minute call valid, or sorry, 1 minute call invalid seventh logic, because although it crosses the Kazi high low, it does not cross the second moving average. Okay. All right, let's look at our next question. Lost a 4 bullet cycle because of last second win on the broker on second. Okay. All right, so we have big pin, so we stay out of the bonuses. This comes down. Okay, again, this is our scenario where we have what I would call a fifth, seventh logic. Okay, this one single candle after bonuses is able to break the Kazi high low and the second moving average. I'm guessing this orange line is some type of tension line. We've got that much space to come down. So for me, this is a 1 minute put, and then you're done. Okay. And again, the fake push position here would be right up here at this green tension line. So as the market worked its way up, you could do another 1 minute put. Okay. So if the for some reason your broker gave you a bad price point here, because yeah, you could win or lose here. It's 1 point, depending on when you click the button. A good secondary position. So say you come in here, you pass these two because of the large pinning here, which is a good idea. You see this happen, and you jump in with your $5 here, and then this works its way up. You could jump in with your $10 when the market pushes up here to the tension line for a 1 minute put as well. And as you can see from this tension line to where this candle is, there's plenty of space. You would definitely win your second trade no matter what. And you might get lucky here and actually win both of them. So it would be nice. You win a $5 and a $10. That's like winning 3 bonuses in the cycle like that. Okay? Does that make sense, Stefano? Um, you're talking about because this orange tension line here? Yeah, so fifth, seventh there. So hope that makes sense, guys. Oh, because of the trend line. Again, for me, I wouldn't draw a trend line this way. I would probably draw it a little bit further out. So the trend line really more matches this middle Bollinger Band area. Remember, we want to draw it from here if we can. And so for me, it would be more the middle Bollinger Band. And again, even here, like it's breaking through this candle. So for me, this is not a correct trend line. So, all right, let's go to our next question. Let's see, this was Euro USD 1952 yesterday. If I can look at it real quick. 1952. Okay, it was like here. All right, yeah, that is kind of a strong one there. I guess in this instance, again, for me, we talk sometimes what's the strongest indicator here. Really for us, it's the tension lines up above, because yeah, we try to draw something like this. It looks like it's invalid because of the trend line. And again, if you're confused about it, because look at this tension line here. It broke through. It was able to break through. Just think about it this way. This ball, our bouncing ball, is able to, comes up and down, comes up. It's able to break through all of this stuff, but then it reverses. It touches the tension line up here and gets rejected really strongly. And then this single candle is able to break through the Kazi high low, the second moving average, and a tension line. And it has some space maybe to work its way down to our more seasoned trend line here. So really, this trend line doesn't tell us a whole lot, right? Even though it looks like it stops there, this market reversal is so strong, it was able to break through 3 barriers. So for us, this trend line that might not even be correct is not going to be that strong of a barrier. And again, if you're unsure in it, I'll say this. If it was more like this, for instance, say it was pinning really hard off of a trend line, that would be a different story. But because the market actually, actually this is the appropriate trend line right here. Because if you see from this pin to this is the appropriate trend line. So we actually do have space for the market to come down. We have about 15 points. So this is the appropriate trend line here. The market comes up, has space, it breaks, the second moving average, Kazi high low and tension line, has space to come down. So we take our 1 minute bullet there. And again, if you want to take another one, you can take it when it comes right up to this tension line and potentially win 3 bullets there. Okay. What's in the 1 hour? It's a tough situation, but that's again why we have to practice this like crazy. Oh, sorry. Hold on just a second. So let's look at the 1 hour situation here, see what may have happened. It looks like a lot of tension areas though. Okay, this is on the 19th. Okay. So the market worked its way up here to a place where there were um, a lot of tension lines, and it just didn't have the strength to continue there. So we had, let me zoom in here real quick. Delete this. Yeah, so the market tried to push up, but there was just too much tension there in the market for the market to be able to. You see all these quasi high lows to the left. It was just too much for the market to push past, and so the market got rejected there. Okay. All right. Again, that's why I was saying another good place to look for reversals, look for sevenths, is actually tension lines. Okay. All right, let's look at our next question here. Some of us got mixed up with the rules of season 4 and 5. In season 4, Kazi explained that if the flag candle goes in the same direction as the 1 hour candle, then we have an indecision seventh logic. So we go for an entry. Again, it's not always as simple as that. That's the basic understanding of it. And again, when Kazi taught things, he was trying to say, okay, here's the first step. The first step is the majority of the time, or a big amount of time, if you see, the 1 hour candle going in the same direction of a flag candle, which is the majority of the time, then watch out for a potential invalid seventh logic. But we have to put all the classes together. He also, in other classes, talks about we get valid seventh logics around tension lines, around big pins, around different stuff like that. So if we have a 1 hour candle, going, say, in a call direction, for instance, a white candle, and we have a flag candle going in the call direction, and it comes up to a tension line, we then have to think in our mind, oh, this may reverse from here. Okay. So it's both of these things put together. It's all of the stuff. It's all of the stuff that is working together. It's not as simple as, oh, if it's going this direction, then it's a valid seventh or invalid seventh. We still have to put all of our tools together depending on the situation. Okay, can you check the logic in this picture? The logics, please. Okay, this picture here. If I can zoom in, maybe if I download it, I can zoom in better. Okay. All right, so we got a first level break. Remember, we had a level cut, so we're to a first level. We get a bonus, a loss. I can't tell what this candle is here. It looks like this candle looks white, but it may be a tie with the previous candle where it ended. So if it's a tie, I'd just stop, and I would take my one loss out here. But yeah, you have a big D flag. I mean, honestly, a big D flag with a pin like this. Again, this is, even if you play this whole thing out, here's how I would play it. Okay, you have a flag candle, you have a bonus loss, potential recovery. If it's a tie, then you just stop. Okay. So the cycle's probably recovered here. If this candle is bigger than where this one ended, it's hard. White but lost. Okay, so it was white, but it was it points wise less than the what day is this? Maybe I can pull the chart up myself. Can you tell me the date and time of the currency? Sorry, the date, time, and which currency it is? Because if so, then that would we can look at it on the chart, and I can get a little bit more clarity on it. Okay, let's wait for him to look at this, and then I can look it up on the MT4 now. All right, while he's checking that, I'll go to the next question, and then we'll get right back to his when he looks up the chart. Okay, which level is this one? All right, so we have our first level here. Really, this is our second level. This should be our third level. Okay, looks like we have an invalid seventh type set up. I think we looked at this chart earlier. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is all choppy. I would never trade this stuff. Yes, you have level 1, level 2, and then this is your level 3. Okay? All right, Dirk, were you able to find that for us yet? All right, while he's checking still, I'll see Richard's question here. Sometimes the Kazi high-low and second moving average are broken more or less at the same time. Okay? Do the example below. Zoom in here. Yeah, this is okay. If it's broken at the same time, I would still consider this a valid scenario. You know, if you go for a bonus, I'd probably stop on the first because you have this left structure here. Take one and get out. You know, you do have 3 bonuses here, and then you have a D flag into well, you have a D flag with a big pin on it, and then you have a loss and recovery. Even though this is gray, you can see this finishes above this price. So, I mean, for me in a setup like this, you've got one good bonus, and that's it. Okay. Hi, Adam. I'm taking a trade. When is the right time to take the trade as the flag candle's ending? Basically right around the 59 seconds. You know, as soon as the new minute starts. You know, you always want to do it right away. If you do too late, then it's very easy to lose. Okay, so that's really important, especially when you're going for bonuses. Does the 1 hour candle pin act as a Kazi high-low as shown on my link? Sometimes it does, yeah. Sometimes sometimes these, oh, you mean, okay, you mean like that. No, only trade if you see a Kazi high-low, but sometimes the Kazi high-low will coincide with the pins, okay? So again, you wouldn't trade here, you wouldn't trade here. All of these are invalid. I wouldn't trade this setup. Okay. All right. Let's see our next question. Claude says, notice the jump from the tension line link in the link. Okay. Let's see here. I can zoom into this. Yeah, again, I wouldn't trade the situation here. Okay, let's go back to Dirk's question. He said, it's kind of hard to see on the screen, Dirk. I believe it was the 18th, though. Do you remember what currency it was? It was February 18th, about 12:20 chart time. It looked like it was maybe Euro USD, so let's check that real quick. I'm in the 5-minute chart. Hold on. All right, it wasn't Euro USD. Do you remember what pair it was? Okay, let's go back to the 18th, 12:20 on this one, see if it matches up. Okay, I don't think it was this one either. Look at Euro GBP, 12:20 on the 18th. Okay, this one doesn't match up either. It may have been USD CAD. Let's look at this one. Was this it? Let's see. USD Swiss. Okay, USD Swiss. The 18th at 12:20. Okay, so this one finishes at 273. This one finishes at 273 as well. Okay, so for me, I'm done. Like I stop after that. I tie and I stop. I eat the loss. Um, so for me, if there's a tie like this, then I would not go for a D flag scenario. Okay, no, I just would not go for D flag scenario. Now, if there was not a tie, say this was a recovery, and then I did have a D flag here, and just say I played the whole thing out. I wouldn't because of these big pins, but just say I played the whole thing out. Okay, to say that this white candle was up a little bit and won. So we have our D flag here. you would get a bonus, a loss, recovery, and then you stop. So you're done. Okay. There's nothing more to trade in that cycle after that. Okay, let's got our next question here from Hermogenes. Can we open a demo account and start testing, or we have to wait until you say so? Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome to, go ahead and start test trading. That's completely fine. But as far as February the 29th, you guys are going to start for at least 2 weeks, maybe longer. Demo trading. Most of our classes will be done then, and we'll jump in from time to time and have another little class here and there. But you guys will be doing that and documenting your trades then. Hot4x is just the MT4 provider. Hot4x is not a binary options broker. Okay. Andrew said, when should we start to grow our trades? We start with 5, then 10. How many dollars I need to have in my balance to trade 10 as the first? I would say honestly, try to double your account. Try to go from 1,000 to 2,000 on the demo, and if you can do that, then you can change the money management after that. We never trade a half level. Is this the rule? No, we just never really want to trade a half level. Too many tricky things can happen there. Okay, Christian says, I'm having trouble understanding this. After a successful break of the Kazi high-low, a bonus and 2 losses, the losing can. Okay. Yeah, again, we said in a scenario like this, for me, when I see this big, nice bonus, but then it also makes a really big pin here, I'm stopping. Honestly, you don't need all this RSI stuff. But after this, I'm stopping. Okay. And, you have these 2 losses here. So you're waiting for another loss to see what may happen. And again, this is kind of tricky because this is a big pin. It doesn't really cross these pins. And so for me, I may just not even get into this trade because it's indecisive. You have a really big pin on this bonus showing that the market wants to push up. There's something causing a rejection in the market. We don't know what, but we know there's something there. So, we win this, we stop. So for me, how I would play it, I would win, I would stop. I would never see a good entry for seventh logic, so I just wouldn't trade. Remember, we're not trying to trade every single thing. We're just trying to trade the safest stuff. Okay? We want to trade as safely as possible. Kazi can get himself in and outside of every single setup, but we're not Kazi, and we don't have to do that. We don't have to do that to be profitable. We don't have to do that to win. And actually, in a scenario like this, he may do the exact same thing. He may say, here's a big bonus with a really big pin. I know the market is rejecting off of something there, and because of that, I'm not going for any more bonuses. So he stops. He sees these 2 losses happen. He knows that this is kind of an indecisive situation, and so he waits to see what may happen next. And if he never feels like there's a good entry point, then he just never enters the market for any type of seventh logic there. Okay? That's why it's very important it's very important not to play out an entire cycle every single time. You can try now for experience, but you don't have to. Especially, watch out for stuff like this. Kazi always says pin is a big no for going for bonuses. This is a really big pin on the bottom of this. So watch out for stuff like that in the market. Also, this is GBP JPY. We don't even trade this currency with Binary Alpha either. Okay, that could be one of your issues as well. Also, guys, for when we starting February the 29th, when we get you all to start documenting your trades, we really don't want it to look like this. We